New Orleans Saints down 10-0 out on the West Coast to the San Francisco 49ers. Welcome into the Bayou Blitz halftime show for the Saints News Network. I'm Brendan Boylan. That is Bob Rose. And Bob, let's just start here. You know, the defense had their moments in the first half. Offense still struggling mightily, despite the fact that Andy Dalton's stats look okay, 8 of 11 for 92 yards, no scores. But we have to address what is a catch, because it seemed like the Saints had some momentum going their way. A big personal foul penalty on the punt put them in great field position. Very first play, Taysom Hill throws a laser to Chris Olave. Looked like he got 2 feet, and then the ball came out because of the ground. So, of course, my first thought is, well, the ball or the ground can't force a fumble. 49ers challenge it, ends up being ruled incomplete.
Brandon, I am happy to report that we finally have a definition of what a catch is in the NFL. According to Roger Goodell, ass kisser Dean Blandino, A, it depends what uniform you're wearing, and B, you have to have 7 feet simultaneously on the ground, and at least 3 family members have to be on the ground too, while you maintain control of the football for it to be a catch.
That's a great explanation for our Bob Rose. But in all honesty, Bob, it seems like week to week, the rules for a catch become a little different. And again, like I said, my initial thought seeing the play was, well, they're challenging because they thought the ball was out. Seeing the replay, all right, ground can't force a fumble. Saints should have first and goal. And then, nope, it's an incomplete pass. So to Chris Olave, I think they robbed you of a catch and some more yards towards your Rookie of the Year campaign. To the New Orleans Saints, you're looking at a really good opportunity to put some points on the board. Let's go ahead and look at some of these offensive numbers. Nothing spectacular. I mentioned Andy Dalton earlier. He's 8 of 11 for 92 yards, no scores. Another efficient performance, looking at the stats for Andy Dalton. But numbers can lie, right, Bob?
Yeah. He's not making any serious mistakes. Yeah, we'll say that. That's certainly a plus at this stage.
Alvin Kamara, 24 scrimmage yards, can't get anything going on the ground. He's got 5 carries for 10 yards, 2 receptions for 14. Of course, the fumble on the opening drive. And then the Saints' leading receiver, Rashid Shaheed, 1 reception for 35 yards. Bob and I talked about how vital it was to get him more involved in the offense yet again. The Saints able to connect with him. It was a dime of a throw from Andy Dalton. But listen, the Saints, we knew it would be difficult to run the football against this San Francisco team, the best in the NFL. Saints ran the ball 9 times for 27 yards. That's 3 yards per carry, long of 10, actually coming from Andy Dalton on that scramble where he almost picked up a first. Defensively, you're starting to see a little bit of pressure in the face of Jimmy G. Not great, not consistent, but at moments you're seeing some pressure on Jimmy G. He's been able to make some good throws, and of course the touchdown getting batted right into the receiver's lap. But Bob, if there's some positives from what you're seeing defensively, what are they?
I really like the way the Saints are playing defensively along the line of scrimmage and just outside the tackle box. To me, outside of Paulson and Debo, the secondary is playing too soft, way too soft. Especially Bradley Roby. Chris Harris had some nice moments early in the first half, and then really laid a couple of what eggs going down the stretch of the second half on that 49ers touchdown drive. But defensively, I love the way they're playing at the line of scrimmage. They're containing the run pretty well for the most part, and like you said, they're getting Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit off of his timing. They're getting pressure on him, not only from the edge, but even more so from the interior. I thought David Onyemata, Kentavious Street, and especially Shai Tuttle have played extremely well against the run and as pass rushers in the first half. Demario Davis, Caden Ellis, they've been all over the place, as we expected them to be. If the Saints were going to have a successful defensive afternoon, that's laid itself out so far. You hate going in with a 10-0 deficit, especially on a fluke play. A couple of questionable penalties, and Dean Blandino, I got a 2-finger salute for you, my friend.
Scoop says Zach Bond is playing and
He
well.
is. Yeah, he really is. Yeah, I left Zach out, but he's made some plays along the line of scrimmage, gotten some nice pressures, and some great run stops. So yeah, definitely, I'd have to say that this is probably the best half of football, during a regular season game that I've seen from Zach Bond so far.
David says the defense has been keeping us in the game. The offense can't get anything. Yeah, and that's been the problem in the story all year is you get one, but you don't get the other. The Saints have really have not been able to play a complete game in all three phases this season, and this is another game where the offense hasn't been able to get much going. We knew it would be difficult. Like Bob and I talked in the pregame with this just being an overpowering and very talented 49ers team, especially with those linebackers. Uh, One of the biggest things, Bob, is, and I believe they even said it on the broadcast, the Saints are minus 13 on the season in terms of the turnover or takeaway battle. What do the Saints have to do? Obviously, the Niners getting the ball to start the second half. What do the Saints need to do or continue to do to try to force a takeaway? Because at this point in the game, it looks like they're going to need some bounce of the ball to go their way to get back into it.
Yeah, and you're not going to get it from Goodell's goons referees. You got to keep playing aggressively in your front seven. You need to play more aggressively in your secondary. You need to challenge. I know it's a roll of the dice, but you need to challenge these 49er receivers. Debo Samuel, he looked like he got a little nicked up, so that's one worth watching. Samuel Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, you got to challenge them. They've made too many uncontested catches, in key situations so far. If you can contest that and you continue to disrupt Garoppolo in the pass pocket, good things are bound to happen. Again, I know it's a roll of the dice, but as long as you get some good pressure and you're able to hold up with that aggressive coverage approach, you're gonna get mistakes bounce your way.
Offensively, what would you like to see the Saints do to clean up some of these inconsistencies? Because at times it looked like the Saints offense was starting to churn a little bit. That first drive before the Kamara fumble, Saints offense was churning a little bit. Saints offense was churning a little bit before the catch no catch call of Olave's. What do the Saints have to do just to kind of get something in their step going into the second half?
I look to see a lot more passes, quick passes from Andy Dalton. Try to get him into a rhythm. Somebody get Alvin Kamara's head into the game. And I've criticized Kamara a couple of times earlier this season. If he's not involved early in the game or he makes a turn, is responsible for a turnover, he just seems to mentally exit. Now I could be way off. I'm just reading body language through a TV here, but that's just what it appears to me. You need to do something to get Kamara into the game. Use him as a receiver out wide. Hit him up the gut. You cannot give up on the running game. Otherwise, the pass rush is just going to get to Dalton. That's inevitable. But you can't give up on the run game. Maybe hit him with a couple of interior runs with Taysom, which we haven't seen very much of, if any at all. And Mark Ingram. And like I said, get Kamara to the edges. Tell Alvin you're going to be a heavy part of the game plan as a receiver. Maybe that'll perk him up a little bit. Keep throwing to Olave. The 49ers are probably going to play off coverage. That's what they do best in the secondary. So you can get your quarterback in your passing game into a rhythm, but you have to get quick releases off of the line of scrimmage.
To your point, Taysom Hill and Mark Ingram have combined for 3 carries for 7 yards in the first half. Would definitely like to see them get a little bit more involved. Remember the statistic that I threw out on Wednesday. The Saints are undefeated this year when Taysom Hill touches the ball at least 9 times. That's not including pass attempts. We'll see if Taysom can get going in the second half. Bob, before we let everybody go, final score predictions now that you've seen one half of football, and where can everybody follow you on the World Wide Web?
This time I'm going to go. I'm still going to go San Francisco. At winning the game. Unfortunately, I think the Saints have the tools to pull it out. I just think it's going to be a tough road. I look for the 49ers to maybe make a big play to break it open. Because the Saints have to take some too many chances defensively, and I think San Francisco will take it 23-10.
Bob, I'm going to take the Niners as well. I think that the Saints offense has just proven yet again, week to week, you don't know who you're going to get. So I'm going to take the Niners in this one, 24-10. Saints offense really is not going to be able to get anything going. Maybe they get a garbage time touchdown, but it's not looking hopeful for New Orleans thus far. 49ers get the ball to start the second half. You can follow Bob Rose on Facebook and on Twitter, flashing that across the bottom of the screen. Follow myself on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You see it on the bottom of your screen as well. Bob and I have a really special show for you guys on Wednesday night. Have two fantastic guests to preview Saints and Bucks on Monday night. Who knows if the Saints turned around, that could be for the NFC South Division lead. Well, until Wednesday, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to follow Bob and I's work over at the Saints News Network. Hit us up on Twitter. We love interacting with you. And until then, find your peace, spread love, practice positivity, and enjoy the second half. See you for the Bayou Blitz on Wednesday.